Hey babies, how are you? Okay. It's been a little while, a little bit of time. Um but I'm so excited to come together today and do some predictions for this upcoming April 2022. So I want to check in on you first. How are you doing? Let me know in the chat. You can put it in the comments or you can put it in the live chat as well. Want to see how you all have been doing. And I really hope that this brings some clarity, some peace, some excitement for your upcoming April 2022. Okay, so if you need more from this reading, if you need some personal time, I do have a link in my description box, and I am taking clients right now. I am taking clients for personal reading, so you can sign up there. I only have a few spots in April, so you can sign up there if you would like. But let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, let's just cleanse out this energy here. You all know, if you ever see me on Reiki Healing Hope, my cleansing tool of choice is cinnamon. So let's just get in a very relaxed state because we want these questions and these answers to come through very clearly and to be the right questions to be asking, the ones that are really going to be impactful and important for us, that will help us transform, that will help us bring us more happiness, more balance, more peace. So just take 3 deep breaths here. Exhale. 2 more. Exhale. Final breath. Okay, you see me there all the time? I know that's right, baby. Okay, so I'm going to put this right there and just invite you to just open yourself up, be receptive. And this is what I like to say, take what you need and leave what you don't. Because this is a predictive read for all of us, you have to get your messages out of it and then save the rest for other people, because we're all having these different and unique experiences that are going on. So this is what we're going to do. Okay. Also, before we even get into that, the perks of you being live. Okay. If you come to the live readings, then I will have some time to be able to answer your specific questions. So those are the perks of the live readings, and I'm going to try to get it really consistent. I really am going to make them for the month of April, Mondays, 6 p.m. EST. And we just go however long the reading goes. So let's go ahead and get started, babies. Well, my name is Jessica. I also go by Jet. I am an energy healing practitioner or a Reiki master teacher, and I am an intuitive. And in this space, we bring messages from the universe, from our guides, from the energies and energetic helpers around us to help us clarify what's happening in our life and to make really, really good decisions with our life. Okay. But at the end of the day, it is always your choice for whatever it is that you want to do. And you have to listen to yourself first. So here's what's happening. So this is going to be for April 2022. And what I want you to do is I want you to ask a question related to the pile for each. So it's going to be 3 questions. The first question will be health or wellness related. The second question will be love related. And the third question will be money, business, career, that kind of question. And we're going to start with health. We're going to move to love, and then we're going to go to money. So really just take some time right now to just think about it. I'm sure you already got your questions, baby. I'm over here looking in the chat. I know you got I know you got your questions. I already know you got them. But just take some time. If you don't, you can write them out. You can think about them, or, you could just think about your first question as we go into health and wellness. And I want you to really think about wellness from the perspective of not just, Am I going to be sick or am I going to be, healthy? But more of everything, your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, your mindfulness, all of these things that come up into health. Health is very, it's holistic, it's very open, it encompasses a lot of things. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. So come up with your health questions. Let me move these out the way to bring up afterwards. Of course, love is after, and then money. So health, love, money. Health, love, money. I feel like that's how life is, If your health is right, your love is right and your money is right too, okay? Because what I do know is that the older you get, even like when you're younger, you want money, right? Because money is what gives you accessibility to things or access to things. But when you get older, you start to realize like you can make yourself happy with very simple things, but having health, and let me tell you something even better than that. Having peace of mind, somebody or a situation or circumstance not stressing you out, that's really important. That is so important. Okay. Universe, thank you for this opportunity to channel on behalf of you. Please bring messages of health, wealth, abundance, love, and clarity into the space. Please allow their questions to be answered in clear and concise ways and loving ways and for, the highest vibrational good only. Please remove any doubt. Please remove any stagnation and please remove any hateration. No, just kidding. Thank you. Ashe, ashe, ashe. If y'all know me from Reiki Healing Hope, then you know how funny I can be at times. I think I'm more funny. So for your April 2022 health, first thing that's coming up, the world, the Four of Cups, the Queen of Swords. So what's happening here? Let me kind of create some space here so we can get some work done. So what's happening is that, this month when it comes to health, you are really starting to plot for your wellness, thinking of traveling. So you're thinking like wanting to go to the beach. That's kind of a good example. Or if you do not like the cold, you might want to go to somewhere that's snowy because it makes you feel good. It's a very reclusive, it's very hermit-like. So it doesn't really matter if you go with people or if you don't go with people. But in April, what you're trying to do is you really want to be connected to just a sense of, I want to get out. Like what's going to make me happy? What's going to make me feel good on the inside is if I just get out of here. And here's what happens when you're in a health state. If you're vibrating like your energy, the energy within yourself, if it's vibrating at a good and a healthy level, then you experience life in a wonderful way. If you're not vibrating at that good and healthy level, then you're more prone to sickness. I mean, it's kind of it's kind of no surprise. Like if you ever notice that, the gloomy person, the person who's very lethargic, they may be prone to sickness more often, but the person who's very vibrant, very full of life, very full of energy, that energy that they have in them almost like pushes or amplifies their immune system. But really what's happening on the inside is that you're probably just more efficient at metabolizing things. You're probably just more efficient at producing, white blood cells and things like that. But it lets you know that energy is important. When you're at work or if you're in a stressful situation or just have a stressful environment that brings your overall health down, you're more prone to sickness, you're more prone to just not feeling good. But when you're happy, you're more resilient. It's just, our body is so amazing. But April 2022 for you, it's kind of pulling like, let's go somewhere. We need to go somewhere. Now, you may not necessarily go somewhere in April, but April is definitely pulling you to be like, okay, so where can we go? And then we have the Four of Cups. So your emotional well-being really matters. That's why it came off more like a resort. Like going to the beach or going somewhere where you can just be balanced. It doesn't have to be a big, huge party, but just health wise, it's more of something where you're just like, oh, just want to be relaxed, you want to be balanced, but balanced in multiple levels. You just want full control of the energy and the movement of your life. And then the Queen of Swords, there's going to be a push to come up, or you will be attracted to new things that are for your health. So you might kind of get into nutrition, or you might have some physical or creative activity that you get into. But April is going to bring a month for you where you're like, oh, I'm just excited. I want to try it. I want to try it. I want to try it. Now, if you've already started something, you will see that amplified, or it coming to kind of a fullness, or growing a really, as we say in Reiki healing, blossoming and or blooming. You're going to see a blooming of that, a seeding for there to be a continued growth happening in April. But if you're just starting out, that's cool too, because just starting out, you're going to notice a lot of opportunities around you to do things that actually make you very, very happy. I want to say healthful Ooh, baby, don't let me trademark that. Okay, I'm sure someone already has. But back to what I was saying, things that really attract you in this month. So April 2022 with health, for all our friends who just showed up. We're doing health right now. So you ask your question of health and receive the answers that you need. Next will be love, and then will come money, but right now we're talking about April, just really bringing in that energy of just travel and balance. And it's almost like the energy is set up in a kind of way where you're not being let down. There's not some weird opposing force that is preventing you from doing this. It's like everything is free and clear for you to be able to do this. Page of Cups, the Graduate, Six of Pentacles. Ooh, the Tangled one. Okay. So this is reinforcing, the Graduate right here is really, it's reinforcing this. If you started something before, some type of endeavor that is for your wellness, okay? Wellness can be physical health. It can be emotional well-being. It can be mental relaxation. It can be energetic, spiritual, whatever it is, esoteric, whatever it is that makes you feel, excited to be alive. If you've already started that, it reinforces what we were talking about, that you will see this blossoming, you will see this blooming. So if there's anything on the top of your mind right now that you have been working on that really falls here, just be mindful that that's really going to, explode, come to be. And then the Page of Cups is kind of giving this energy of, you finally know how to control your energy. You ever been around someone, it doesn't matter if they're friend, family, love, coworker, whatever, but if you ever felt like you were at the whim of other people, like if somebody's mad at you, then you got to deal with it, But there's something about that makes you feel like, I don't want to just be, victim to someone else, how somebody feels about me. So this is a feeling in April that you're like, you know what? Nah. Like, I am in control of my own feelings. And it's almost like an exploration. It's like you now realize, hold on, wait a minute. I don't just have to deal with anything out here. I am in control of my own feelings. And because I'm in control of my own feelings, what do I want to do with this? How do I want to make myself happy? It's both a sense of accomplishment, control, but at the same time, exploration. Because you don't know everything about your experience of controlling your energy or working with your energy, but you do realize that you have the power within you, and you won't just, kind of bend to the whim of other people's just like, irrational feelings, irrational energy, irrational thoughts, stuff like that. You're just like, you know what, I got this. And what's so cool about it is it gives a very Aquarian vibe. Aquarian vibes are both the individual, but yet the collective at the same time. Aquarian vibes come off as very unique, a loner, but at the same time, being in community. People know of this person. And so it's kind of like you find yourself with the time you have with yourself, but there's always a collective. There's always people around you. There's always energy around you too. So we have that going on. So we're doing health right now for any of our friends, our family, the babies coming. We're doing health right now. So you choose a question related to health, and this is for your April 2022 prediction. After this, we're going to do love, and then we're going to go to money. I wish you could see this. This is irritating me now. I'm going to have to fold this in half, y'all. My midheaven is in Virgo, so like, see, it still ain't doing what I needed to do. I don't even care about that no more. So we have that going on. We have the Tangled one, which is, it's a fun energy. This is a fun energy. Let me explain to you why it's a fun energy. It's a fun energy because you might feel like, whoa, did I get, in over my head? But at the same time, it's not like you feel like, oh gosh, woe is me. You're like, maybe, maybe, but like I'm having a good time, because not everything that looks, like I want to say a shit show. Not everything that looks, like not together is really not together. It's like whenever you're learning something new, it looks like a hot mess. But then when you refine it and you get better and things like that, it starts to look better. So April 2022, when it comes to health and wellness and things like that, it's saying don't judge the progress you're making, because even though you may look tangled up, you're going somewhere. This is a part of the process. Like I think about it when I be like, putting my makeup on. When I first put the makeup on, like there's, it's all over the place, baby. Sometimes I gotta, smudge it out and do this. But before I clean it up, it looks like a hot mess. But once you clean it up, you're like, oh, wow, that looks really good. But it wouldn't have created such a great result if there wasn't some messiness that came with it. So this thing, these creative endeavors, health and wellness related endeavors that you're going to be doing in April, it's really reinforcing this message that, just don't judge the progress that you're making. And I also see, a lot of potential with this long term that, when you build yourself up, when you are, diligent towards something that you're interested in that really makes you happy, even if it's not connected to money at this time, over time, it eventually starts to attract more opportunities to bring that into light. And usually that comes with some exchange of some pentacles, baby, with an exchange of some money. So just know that whatever you're doing now, you are feeding into your future. That you may even turn this into a hobby or a full-time career, or be able to monetize these things as well. So let me look at the chat. Health, we're on health right now. So we're going to do a couple more minutes about this. Okay, universe, because I'm reading over what you all are saying. Okay. Are we going to feel surrounded by those that we like and that we care for, not feel alone? Are we going to feel surrounded in April? These are just jumping out. Well, I think that answers it. And this right here. Okay. So, I was reading the chat and I saw some questions about, will they be social? Will I be social this month? Feeling kind of lonely. Winter months, especially after the pandemic started, brought a lot of loneliness if you're not, connected in other ways. And so coming out into the spring, it's kind of giving an opportunity for people to be like, oh, I'm ready to come out. So April is kind of giving you two choices, and you can choose either or. It's kind of like giving this like booed up feeling, or this sense of just like, I just want to do whatever I want to do. And if you say, I just want to do whatever I want to do, it doesn't mean you don't have a boo. It doesn't mean that you're not surrounded by your friends and your family. It doesn't mean that you're not, in really fun, creative spaces. But the thing that is important is just like, you are deciding what you want to do at all times. Where the Six of Cups is giving an energy of, you are having someone in your life. Y'all don't want to get too much into love, baby. I don't want to get too much into love like this Pentacles, but you are having someone in your life that, you're really enjoying their energy. And so that takes up a lot, of the month. And so, either or, again, one does not mean that the other is not true. It just means what you focus on. There can be a situation in which if the outcome will look the same, but what you choose to focus on is really what you gain from it, and that wisdom. So the same set of circumstances, you might want to just focus in on the love and the connection and the collective energy that you have. Now, if this is a plutonic kind of energy, it's just fun. It's kind of like a going out. It's doing the things that you enjoy doing. If it's a family kind of energy, it's things that remind you of home, things that remind you of growing up, things that remind you of, those times that when you thought, oh, I'm going to grow up one day and I'm going to be able to participate in X, Y, and Z. That's the energy. So, the situation will look the same, but it's up to you of, what you want to choose to pour your energy into, what, matters to you. Okay. So we are still on health. I had to make sure not to do love first, because baby, we know how love is. Love is, everything. For me, I always want to know what's going on with career, because I love learning new things, and I always want to know, like, ooh, is there something, exciting that's going to be happening when it comes to career? So let me get a time check. Okay, we're going to do a couple more minutes with health. So I'm just going to pull some cards to get a feel, but someone can ask me a question, and we will pull a card on that, health related only right now, before we move on to love. So go ahead and, just take a minute or so. I know it takes some time to write things out. To ask your health related questions, and I'll be able to get through, I think, at least one person, if not more than that, if it's kind of like a concise question. But universe, anything else you want us to know about the month when it comes to health, while our friends are, putting their health related questions. Okay. Ooh, this is feeling sticky. Okay, the Nine of Swords. Ooh, the Eight of Swords. Oh, baby, the tables have turned. Oh, it's like a good story. Okay. And the Six of Wands. So there's this really interesting energy that is going on. Like the universe is saying, like, hey, all of this is great and dandy, but make sure you don't get in your own way. That's what the Nine of Swords is saying, and that's what the Eight of Swords is saying. Like, don't get in your own way. Sometimes if you overthink things, you will prevent yourself from actually doing what it is that you want to do. For example, you got this great idea. You want to start cycling. Okay, here it is. You're going to start cycling, or you're doing some type of creative dance. You want to take a dance class, right? So you're like, cool, I'm going to take this dance class. All you do is watch dance videos on YouTube. Bop, 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 bop. You're in the mirror. You hit a 1-2 step. Like you're doing all of that. And you said, I'm going to take a dance class. Let me find one for beginners. Oh, this is great. Beginners. This is perfect for me. So then you go to take the class. You sign up. But then the day before, you're like, oh, wait a minute, can I really do this? It says beginners, but maybe they mean beginners and da 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 da. I'm not gonna have enough time to be able to practice. Da, 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 da. Like, those are things that could happen. Do not let yourself kind of get sunken by that. The reason why I say that is what's happening is you're in a current energetic state. And in order to bring this newness into your life, you need to be at a different energetic state that you're just not familiar with. And because you're not familiar with it, you might look at it as something negative or as something bad. New does not mean bad, but sometimes people will confuse something new with the same thing as they feel as with something bad. No, do not overthink it, okay? Do not overthink it. Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple more moments if you have a health related question, or we are going to get started with love. See, y'all not asking these health questions because y'all got love questions. And the Emperor, it's really important to know that you have control over your life. That everything that you experience, at all times, you are 100% in control of. Sometimes you have some situations and circumstances that are not optimum, but look, the way that you respond to it, the way you respond to it, it's really up to you. You get to decide how things impact you. Sometimes things that are difficult, if you kind of just feel like, oh man, I can't do this, then that's what you kind of become. But then on the other side, if you're like, I don't care what it is, I'm about to make this happen, then you use that as almost like a force to the force that's pulling you back. Once you kind of cut the strings, will jettison you forward. Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Carolina. Let's see. Is hoping for a pregnancy for my daughter considered a health question. So pregnancy in April. Mama, are you asking for, will she conceive or will she find out she's pregnant? Because it takes a good 6 weeks before we know. Do you want to find out if it's happening, if she's pregnant in April, or you just want the egg to implant and just, do the work? Let's see. Will she get pregnant? Let's see. Or will the energy, will it encourage, here's something here. Will it encourage, fertility? The Knight of Swords. Okay. Really feeling like taking, things into their own hands, like a sense of determination almost. Wedding in June, hoping for bullseye on the honeymoon. Mama, you want them to get pregnant in April, and then you got a pregnant in a wedding dress? The moon. Okay, so there's this sense of kind of like bliss. This kind of bliss, happiness, and when people are happier and they're in a more joyous state, they're more kind of, the body tends to work a little bit better. But I do see a certainty from their energy, like, we want to do this. And at the same time, I also see it like, what, it almost gives me like, I'll go with the flow. Like, that's the energy that's going, like, I'll go with the flow. So I would say, within this year, it's looking like a yes, because justice is bringing a sense of fairness, a sense of like, it will work out type thing. Will it happen in April? I don't know. I don't know about that. But within this year, it's giving that kind of energy. Like, you all will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. Look, you try to get your grandbaby already. I'm not even mad at you. Okay, everyone. So we're going to go ahead and get started with love. So give me a couple seconds as I clean this up. Just a reminder, I do offer personal readings, and if you would like to sign up for one of those, you can do so with the link in the description box. I only have a few spots. I think I only have like 2 days left in April to be able to do readings. So that's something that you'll probably want to get started with now rather than later if you would like a reading for that. Also, as you know, if you come to, y'all, we gonna do this love now. If you come to the live readings, which for April will be Mondays, 6 p.m. EST, then you will, I was like, what will you do? Then you will have the opportunity to get some of your questions answered. And so that's the perks of the live, y'all. That's the perks of the live. And what we're doing now is we're doing April for all those coming in. We're doing April 2022 predictions for health, love, and money. And guess what? We about to do love, y'all. This is the main thing that people want to know. So what you want to do is you want to just come up with a question, love related for April. And, take the answers you need and leave what you don't, because this is a community collective reading. Some messages will be for some and some will be for others. So take what you need and leave what you don't, and towards the end, I'll open up some time to be able to answer some direct questions through the live feed. I'm gonna probably set a little bit more time out because I feel like questions are going to pop up. Okay, so I'm going to rechannel. Thank you, universe, for this opportunity to read on behalf of you. Please bring messages of health, wealth, abundance, and love. And allow these messages to come across in clear and concise ways so that it brings messages from a higher vibrational space, messages of clarity, messages of a clearness. I guess that would be clarity. Messages of clearness. And ones that will, ultimately bring love into our lives. And we understand that love starts within first. In any environment we are in, we must love ourselves deeply and fully before we can ever expect anyone outside of us to love us. And so we hold that here. We hold those truths to be self. No, just kidding. We hold that here. And let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let me see. I want one more card. I'm just waiting for a card to get kind of really sticky and pop out. I will read the comments too. Okay. I think this is it. So we have the 10 of Wands, love related, the Queen of Pentacles, and the 3 of Wands. I'm going to put that over there. That's a thick deck. That's a thick deck. So I kind of feel like the energy is kind of a little bit all over the place. There's this sense of like, I'm not going to let love mess up my money. Does that make sense? Meaning like been there, done that before, went, love crazy, but I'm at a time now where I want love to provide and to support me. That is not, I don't want you to think about it from the perspective of like, oh, someone's just looking for somebody for financial gains. No, it's not that at all. But at the same time, that's also important too. Now you will not accept anyone less than what you deserve. So maybe years before, you may have given, I like to call them strays. You may have given a stray a chance. Because you're like, oh, well, I want to keep an open mind. But now they need to bring you a sense of security. That is what the Queen of Pentacles is saying now. She's saying, bring me some security. The security that she's asking, it can be financial. But here's the thing. You ever meet somebody who like, they just have money. So they try to throw money at the problems, but they're just like, emotional intelligence is horrible. They don't know how to communicate, things like that. So money is not necessarily the solution, but a sense of understanding that they just want security. The energy is like April 2022. I will not deal with anybody who does not bring me the security I need. Now, the security you need in your life is up to you. So if that is a financial security, that's fine. If that is an emotional security, that's fine. If that's a blah, 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 insert there, then that's fine. But you are not, I see a sense of like focusedness. And it's almost like taking the trash out. Like in order to get to where you want to get to, or in order to get to the right person, the right love connection, you have to tell people no. You know, I've seen this before, where, and baby, let me not even play. I've done this before in my life too, where you're like, okay, you're ready to be with the right person, and then all of a sudden some random person shows up, and like the first 20% of them is great, and then they're weird, and you're like, well, you start kind of making excuses for them. Don't ever do that. What you're doing is, you like, the universe is sending you a catalog, and you have to like swipe them out before you're actually going to be able to get another person. So if you entertain somebody who is not right for you, who's really kind of like not what you want, all you're doing is just making it harder for yourself. Like that's pretty much what's going on there. So here it is don't be afraid to take the trash out. Know exactly what you want in love, and don't be afraid to take, the remaining trash out. And this is almost like a refresh, because it gives you an opportunity to reflect on, how did things go last year? Also, how did things go cuffing season? Cuffing season is the winter months, baby. So there's things that happen. And then you have your hot summers too, where that's coming to life as well. But the Three of Wands is giving me kind of this, kind of like, I want to try something new, like you're peeking into something new. So, April may bring an unconventional love, or unconventional sense of love coming into your life, like a sense of like, you know what? I thought about, wanting to try X, Y, and Z, and then you do it, like that's the energy that's coming. So there's a sense of, exactly what you don't want, but you're kind of taking this time to find what you do like, if that makes sense. So it's like, here are your standards. You can quickly identify what is not working, and you take that to the side. But also there's this space, kind of this exploration that actually goes into what we're talking about in health too, which is the, what else is out there? What else is out there? Because you may like somebody in a different way. Like, you never thought that you would like somebody in your, knitting class. I don't know, like, or in your, this social circle, or that social circle, or something like that. You never really thought about, oh, I don't date my friends X, Y, and Z. But then someone who like, has better qualities than you would normally see, because they've already made it into your, friendship connection, you start to think, well, actually, that's not bad at all. Now, baby, you got to be attracted to them. There's that. So don't just go dating your friends and you're not attracted to them, because then they will just be right in the friend zone. Ooh, okay. Let's bring some more energy into this. Love. Okay, fun. Okay, I'm getting fun with friends, like you're meeting people in a social way. Like your love for this month, you will meet them in like social situations. So if there's someone you already have your eye on, then I think that it will be more enhanced if you have social situations together. Also, we have, look, the Page of Swords. It's it's giving this kind of energy of like indecisiveness. Like, I don't know. I don't know. So I think that might be a warning that could come up as well. Like towards the beginning of April, you have this understanding, and then when you start saying no to what you don't want, and the universe starts bringing you some newness that you haven't experienced before, then it's almost like, wait. I knew what I didn't want here because I've already experienced it before. But now that I'm experiencing this new stuff, everything is so new. Like, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And it almost becomes like this kind of like love magnet a little bit. Like you have kind of like this love magnet energy that's going on here. You're very like alluring, but it's like the type of alluring like, this is a horrible analogy, but like go to the club alluring. Like you see somebody at like the club and you're like, oh, they must be fun and great. Like, I don't know. Or I'm trying to say, what do people do now? Like they go to like a bar or a lounge or something and you're like, oh my gosh, like you're just so striking, like your energy instantly attracts people. So that's what's kind of coming up in this April energy. Now, before I even continue to pull cards, I do want to explain to you, if you do not cut out the things that are no longer working for you, you can't get here. You're just going to be stuck dealing with that over there, like having to work through that. So when you're able to get through this, be like, oh, I'm going to try something, something new. Like maybe trying something new for you is like, I'm going to go talk to somebody at a bar versus you weren't comfortable with that. Or trying something new is I'm going to go talk to somebody on a dating app and you perhaps weren't comfortable with that too. But very much so social settings related, like that's coming up as well. I'm getting this kind of like Aquarius energy in April, even though as we know, like April would be Aries energy. But we're gonna dive into that a little bit more. So we have the Hierophant. I'm trying to think, shade. I'm trying to think, how do I say this in like PG terms? There's a lot of like, how do I say this? There's a lot of body acceptance here. Like it's giving you an opportunity to explore what it is that you do like. So like this whole thing that's going on over here, like what you like, what you're attracted to, where you want to date, X, Y, and Z, like that's what's happening. But it's going to get into the nitty gritty too, where you're going to be like, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. And I don't know if that has always been the case for you, if you've always been so connected with freely saying, I like this, I don't like that. It's almost like, just kind of dealing with what you had. No, you're like, I like this, I don't like that. And that becomes a part of your standard. So for all my grown friends who, you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then the Ace of Pentacles is just this sense of like, it's almost like you're developing your new sense of what makes you feel secure. So when you started out April with this love energy, you had like this, like, hey, this is what I don't want. And then you're open to this like new energy, and you're kind of getting this new energy in. You're like, what does this feel like? You're doing things socially. You become very alluring. You become very connected with your body, having a new relationship with your body. Then you start to kind of develop what it is that you find insecure, like find security. I was like, I don't want to put insecurity together because then I feel like that sounds like I'm saying insecurity. That's not what I'm saying. You find a new form of security when it comes to love, but you would have never known that had you not gone through and experienced this. And I cannot reiterate this enough. If you do not say no to the things that are not working for you, you will not be able to experience these things. But also know that as you experience new things, you do have to, figure out eventually, which will happen towards the end of the month, what you needed from that, what you like and what you don't like, and, stuff like that. Woo. Okay. Let me see. Universe. What else? What else, love? So we have Justice, justice. So I'm going to tell you, be very mindful with this justice coming up. Be very mindful with the parameters you're setting for love. So if you are just out here dating people, make it very clear in the beginning for that. You do not want to be in a situation where you feel like you are being cheated on, or somebody, feels like you were cheating on them. Just be very clear, because this is also a month where, the shit will hit the fan too. If you're trying to be like a player, there's nothing wrong with going out and finding people and, whatever, but you just have to allow people to consent to that, or like just be real. Like, I always say this with like Piscean energy, like Piscean love is like having 3 different storylines going on at the same time and trying to hold them all up. You don't want to do that here, because it's going to come back around very quickly, versus other times where, maybe people won't even notice it at all. And you're like, What I'm not saying is, I'm just trying to make sure you understand this. I'm not saying you need to dedicate yourself to the first person you meet. That is not what I'm saying at all. I'm just simply saying, like, hey, don't get jealous, and don't let other people get jealous of you. If people start to become possessive and things like that, let it go. Like, it's not the time yet. This is fun time. This is a fun time for you. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles. So I'm seeing a lot of people wanting your time. So it's giving a lot of like dates, like trying to get all the dates in. And you trying to balance that, like, okay, this and that. Okay, here's a word to the wise. Do not double book. This is why you don't want to double book in dates. Okay, baby, I'm going to give you all this tea and wisdom. You do not want to double book in a date on the same day. Sometimes, the like consecutive days too. The reason why is you might be feeling, 2 people at the same time, and you like their energy equally. But when you finally actually hang out with them in person, you might actually like one more than the other. Can you imagine, if like that first date is with someone you really connect with, and then the second date, it's like, dang, you don't even know, like you're just like, you don't want to leave that energy. So you don't want to interrupt that energy. So kind of space it out, space out the dates. Of course, if they're in social situations, there's that too. They can happen in these kind of social gatherings, but baby, you got to make sure that your timing is together when it comes to this. Okay, so I'm going to take some time to answer some of you all, because that's the perks of coming to the live. So go ahead and put your questions, love-related questions for April, in the chat. And I will also just pull any remaining cards while you do that, okay? Okay. Oh, okay, 2 of Wands. Come on, baby. So, this is a very freeing time for you. I don't see it as super serious. Now, sometimes to people, like if I say, I don't see it as super serious, they get scared. Like, oh, I'm not going to find somebody who's like, like the right person for me. Blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like there's a lightness to your energy. There's a light spirited energy here. And so it's to have fun. Okay. And King of Pentacles. I think, the cool thing about this is I think you find it, like you come full circle. By trying something new, you kind of discover like, this is actually what I've really been looking for. I'd rather, meet people this way. This is how I want to meet an important person for me. So I'm getting that energy coming. Okay, let me read. Ooh, this is a fun one. Am I going to find true love, or is my crush going to like me back? Let's see. Are they going to find true love, or is their crush going to like them back? Baby, I don't mean to laugh at you. Okay, so the Devil card, it represents our vices. And so you're so attached to needing to find somebody, needing to have this person like you back, that you're limiting yourself from the full potential that is out there. So you may like this crush, but I want to explain something. Like, sometimes when we think about a person over and over and over again, we think that they have all of these great qualities, but really what we liked about them is that we like them. And for all those who have been in, like, you know, a bunch of relationships or long-term relationships, you know what I'm talking about, where it's just like, once you leave a relationship and you look at it and you're like, the only reason why I like them is because I liked them. I came up with things. I gave them that power. So when it comes to this, what you need to do during April is you need to take a step back. Just take a step back from it and go into this Two of Wands energy and King of Pentacles energy and just start to be like, look, you know what? Whatever I like, I'm going to like. You know, whatever it is that you're looking for from the true love, whatever it is you're looking for from, you know, having that right person in your life, you have to figure out how to give it to yourself first. Because once you take that pressure off of love needing to provide that for you, it actually opens up a better, fuller, more richer love experience. So that doesn't mean that people aren't going to show up. Like, people will be showing up and people will, you know, want to have your time. But for you in particular, do not say yes to the first person who just shows up because, you know, you just want them to show up. No. Be very strong and say no, and be open to, you know, new things that make you feel good, things that make you that free you. If there are relationships or people that remind you of old energy, old situations you used to be in, say no to them. But if you have people that, like, they're bringing a new energy out of you, a funness, but maybe you feel a little nervous because you don't know, that's different than something being or reminding you of old things. That's just you needing to adapt to a new environment. You don't have to stay doing things that are familiar just because they're familiar. So this is actually going to be a very exploratory month for you. I'm really excited for that. But thank you for that. That was good. Let me see. Oh, okay. Let's see, Mary. I've been manifesting new love and abundance. Can you tell me where I am in the manifestation process? Where are they, universe, in the manifestation process? Ace of Swords. You're really taking this on. You're like, look, I really want this to, you know, I really want to bring this into my life. The Knight of Cups. And I see you kind of doing like this self-reflection, you know, like being very proactive with the self-reflection when it comes to love. The Tower, the Two of Swords. There's still this energy going on of like not necessarily knowing what you want, as well as like you have to let go of the old stuff. So if you have any people who are like lingering in your life from the past, you have to be able to let that go. Also, you need to understand that as you like change, as you grow, as you are bringing in new energy, that new energy is a vibrational state, okay? So if that is a vibrational state, that means the vibrational state that you used to be at, that you're currently at, that you're moving away from, it will now kind of fall out from under you. So that means there's going to be some people who can't come with you along this process. So what this could look like is like, you know, maybe like a long love that you wish would kind of elevate with you, but they won't. Or this could also be you finally, you know, connect with someone you really like, but your friends around you don't like that. They don't like the way that you're connecting with this person, not because it's bad, but because they're used to the person that you used to be. So, you know, things fall under you, or like, you know, friends and family also, like them wanting to have a say in your love life or something like that. Just understand that as you are going towards your process of manifesting this love, things will fall out of you. But understand that when the things fall down, it is not because something is negative or something bad is happening, or you need to leave, or that you're being punished. It's just a part of the process. And then what ends up happening is that you're met with more people, you're met with more friends, you're met with a closer sense of family, you're met with the right kind of love. So when these situations show up in your life during this manifestation process, try very, very hard to not see them as negative. Try very, 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 very hard. Just understand that it's just a tough thing that you have to do. But once you get over that hurdle, that's when you bring it in. That's when that abundance and things come in. And then you'll look back at it and be like, oh, wow, that wasn't that hard. Oh, wow, that wasn't that hard at all. And just kind of like, just go and flow with that. And let me see. Let me see. Okay, Rebecca, let's see what your relationship is looking like in April. I like that. They said, what's my relationship looking like in April? What is Rebecca's relationship looking like in April? Rebecca's relationship is looking like, see, the moon, 9 of cups. It's giving me a lot of you want your cake and eat it too. But also this sense of like, your own power, you know how to use your energy to connect with people. Let me say it like that. It's kind of like you want your cake and eat it too. But I almost see situations that aren't necessarily for you anymore, kind of like dissipating, like, oh, I'm gonna leave this out, because what happens is that you actually have a surplus of energy. I get this energy of almost like people fighting over you, and so some people will be, as they say, butthurt from that, but you just have this, I just see like a lot of choices, like a lot of how do I say, like suitors, like just a lot of, energy coming at you. But sweetheart, I want you to be very careful here, because, it is completely fine to have a lot of suitors and, things like that. Just make sure that no one is trying to, if somebody gets upset, that they are not trying to retaliate against you, that they are trying to, hurt you or do something because they're upset. If you lose, you lose, that's that. But that's the energy that's coming up for you. You have like a lot of people that will be vying for your attention in April. Okay. Well, y'all, oh my goodness. Now we're going to get into that money. As you know, I do offer personal readings. If you'd like one of those, you can use a link in the description. And now we're going to get started with the money part, y'all. This is money, career, business, even like turning your passions into something that you can live off of. I'm very, very big on that, being able to use what brings you the most happiness and bringing it into your life. Okay, come up with your questions, babies. Come up with your questions. I'm going to get the deck for the money. Thank you, love deck. Always got to be grateful. And now we're going to get into this money, career, business, things like that. That's what's going to come up in this reading. So I'm going to put those over there. Boom, 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 boom. So you can put your questions in the chat section, in the comment section. Those are jumping out. But this is for those who are just coming in. This is for your April 2022 predictions. We did health, then we did love, and now we are doing money, business, career, passions, goals. I should say goals is probably, I like that more than money, because the ultimate achievement of a goal is, the coins. Find a way to follow, and that typically happens when you have a goal that even if you don't have any like monetary association with it, if you get really into it, money eventually flows in that direction. Okay, so we're gonna let me get this nice and cute. We're going to rechannel. Thank you, universe, for the opportunity to read on behalf of you. Please bring messages of wealth, health, abundance, manifestation into our lives. We live in a sense of openness. We live in a space of just gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. And please allow us to continue to have that ample energy and abundance flowing in our lives. Okay, I say all of this in the name of I am, Ashe. Okay. Now, let me get this over here. And again, these are things: career, business, money, passion, purpose, hobbies. Things that you are curious. Like, when we were talking about health, we were talking about like you wanting to do like a, just a creative endeavor. But this is like your creative endeavor now makes you money type thing. Does that make sense? Like, will this creative endeavor bring the financial, stuff that you need? I'll put that money out somewhere else. That's my Virgo midheaven, y'all. I'm like, get this out the way. It's not doing what I need it to do. But yes, so all of those things. So, take a moment, just think about it, and take what you need and leave what you don't. Okay, so first thing, this is for April. So, in the heart. So, what's coming up here is kind of like this spark for April 2022 of like, I want to do something that I love doing. Now, wanting to do something that you love doing, it's different than just being naive and being like, oh, I want to eat a job that pays me all this money and it's super easy. And no, you don't mind that it could be difficult or that it could be tough. What you mind is that you just want to do something you love doing. Like, say you love sculpting or you love drawing, right? And you're going to do it anyway. You would want a job where it's like, maybe you have to take on this tough, art idea or concept, but you love doing it. So you don't mind taking it on. I can even say from my own lived experience, like being in the esoteric space, there's so many things that go on behind the scenes, but I also get really, really excited to be able to do things like if there's a new area of interest or learning that people want to learn about, within Patreon, I'll go do research or go find somebody who can talk about it. Actually, shameless plug, we will be having a tea leaf divination expert coming in April. So more info to that, but you can probably get a link to that on Reiki Healing Hope. But besides that, you want to do something that you love doing, that you'll talk about just hours and hours and hours, that like, someone will, someone doesn't have to pay you to do it. You just love doing it. So that's what this April is kind of bringing up for you when it comes to this. The next thing we have lunar eclipse. So this is releasing the past, breakthrough, pushing limitations, and healing. So this is kind of giving you an opportunity to restart, but it also gives you the opportunity to see what you did last year when it surrounding, money, love, passion, money, the love of your passion, and things like that. So it's almost like don't beat yourself up. Does that make sense? Like, don't beat yourself up for how things didn't work out before. All you want to do is just keep an open mind to where you're going now. And sometimes healing happens in mysterious ways. Like, you might have had this really, really huge idea of something that you wanted to do. It just didn't pan out. And then you kind of feel like, as they say, like the dog with the tail between their legs, and you feel bad about it. But then you're nervous to start something new, and then finally you start something new. You try to keep it very minimal. You don't want to have big dreams or big hopes or anything, and that's actually what ends up taking off, because it's almost like you needed that space to heal and work through all the things that didn't work out in the previous situation. We also have Taurus energy. And so Taurus energy is very much self-consolidation. It is for prosperity. It is for your actual goods, like what you own, like not necessarily a house. It can be a house, but like your personal property, like your car, or like jewelry, or like, things that you like, a napkin, or like the physical things that you own, and how that brings value into your life. So if it's really extravagant, it might be like collecting watches. If it is much more simple, it might be like when you're walking on the street and you see like a beautiful, pebble on the ground, and you pick that up and you collect these beautiful pebbles or leaves or things like that. It really doesn't matter. But Taurus is almost like consolidation. It's also money. It's all about money. So April will be a very big money month. It will be budgeting, you will care about a budget this month of April. You will want to say like, hey, I really want to get this financial stuff together. Hey, I really want to be able to be secure. It's Taurus brings a sense of security, like financial security at that. And so April 2022, it's different. Like I tried to explain like the difference between Taurus energy and its astrological opposite, which is Scorpio energy when it comes to like business. Okay. Like a Taurus job versus like a Scorpio job. Think about it like this. The Scorpio job could be a CEO, right? But the CEO, what's important about it in the Scorpio energy would be this person is able to move people, right? So let's say the CEO has 500 employees, and this CEO is a good CEO if they are able to move people, to kind of excite them to do things, to help them to be determined to work through things, right? And let's say this CEO makes, I'm going to make up this number, $1 million, okay? So we see the CEO. The CEO is making $1 million, but what's important on that Scorpio energy is that they are able to move the people to be able to do that, to harness the energy and the emotion and the passion of things to get things done. Taurus energy, though, is different. I wanted to give you like complete opposite. The Taurus CEO would be different. The Taurus CEO probably is just like a solopreneur. It's just, they're just one person. And it's not about moving people. It's about how can they take what they already have in their life, the money they're already receiving, plant it and make it grow. So this is something that has to do with like maybe like investment. The Scorpio energy is like they're being paid to do something. But the Taurus energy is I'm planting a seed, because Taurus represents agriculture. I'm planting a seed, and I'm watching that one seed sprout into a plant that will yield many more seeds. But where do you get that one seed? Well, I get that one seed from, something probably not, related to this. Maybe it is related to that, but a little bit. And I'm going to take a little bit and I'm going to make it into a lot. But because I care physically, it's not the emotional, because I physically care for it. And when I say physically care for it, I'm talking about budgeting. Because I physically care for it, I give it the nutrients and the environment it needs to grow. So I like to give opposites to kind of like really like dive in on the point. April 2022, when it comes to money, when it comes to career, hobbies, passions, it will be a financial month. And it will be a month where you will say, I want to budget. Now, this is important too, because say you have a hobby or a goal or a passion or a business that you want to start or get going. You may need to budget for that. Now, Scorpio energy, again, Scorpio has nothing to do with this. I'm just trying to get you to understand Taurus energy. Scorpio energy is saying, I'm going to go get a loan. Taurus energy is, I'm going to save up for what I need. So don't go out and instantly look for a loan, ask people for money, things like that. Instead, come up with a plan of how you can get what you need by saving it, because that's what this energy right now is really encouraging us to do. Going out and getting a loan or, borrowing, it's just like, if you can do it on your own, and all it is you just need a little bit of diligence, do that. You do not want to be indebted to people energetically when you're trying to grow something that is important to you, because they may not see it the way that you see it. If it's not growing in the way that they want it to grow, or it's not growing in the way that you had hoped it to grow, then it's going to like throw your energy off. So it's really, really, really important for you to consolidate, for you to be able to save. If it's something that you want, you will make it happen. There's a saying that if something is important to you, you will make time for it, period. You will make time for it. Now, there's a lot of things that are competing in the day, and some things you will not get to, but the things that are important, you will get to. The things that you feel like, and sometimes you have to train yourself. Like if you've always put yourself last and you put other people's needs before yours, and you get to theirs, but you don't get to yourself, and you feel like, oh, I'm not able to live out what it is that I want to do. You have to retrain yourself to put at least one thing first, especially when it comes to this. So this is April 2022, money, career, hobbies, passion. We have Juno, sacred union. So it's almost like two halves coming together. You need to have both the passion and the practical side. Does that make sense? You need to have both the passion and the practical side. Meaning the passion is, this is what is creative. This is what allows you to share whatever that gift is with the world. But it also gives you a sense of adaptability. When things aren't going the way that you want it to go, you learn how to pivot. You learn how to make it work. When you don't have as many funds as you had before, you learn how to get creative. You try different things, new things. That's the heart of it. Many times people will have a job they're not passionate about. And so when it comes to problem solving, they will do the bare minimum. This is not that. This is where, like, if there's a problem, you're like, okay, I'm going to try my best to figure it out. But there also is a practical side, meaning don't have these grandiose plans in an impractical time, because Taurus energy is very, 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 very practical. So don't say you want to have a business, and you're going to start a social media page for your business, and it's on Instagram and TikTok, and you say you have 0 subscribers and followers or whatever, and you're like, I'm gonna get to 1 million subscribers and followers this year. Well, I mean, some people, sure, but like that's probably not going to happen. But you could probably really hustle yourself to get to 10,000, and then the next year hustle yourself to get to 100,000. And the next year, hustle yourself to get to have practical plans. Getting to 10,000 is still a huge feat. Like, it is still really, really hard. But if you give yourself such a crazy, impractical goal, what ends up happening is when you get halfway there and you're not making the progress, you start to fold in on yourself. You'll lose this energy. But think about it. If you're practical and you're feeding that energy and things like that, and you have that goal of 10,000, you're probably going to surpass it, simply because like you kept that energy going. So let me explain that again. Like if you are going and you're like, I want to get to 1 million, whatever, right? And then you realize by, the half of the time frame you're giving yourself, you're at 50,000. That's cool, but it's not enough. And then you just feel like it's not enough. Versus if you said, I'm going to get to 10,000, you get to the halfway mark and you're already at 50,000. You're like, oh, wow. And then you just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. That's Taurus energy. And that's also this sacred union we're talking about, being passionate, but at the same time, being practical. We also have, we have a lot of asteroids coming through, and the asteroids give almost themes to our lives. They're like sprinkles on top of a funfetti cake, They're almost saying this is the energy that's showing up in your life. This is the different movements that are showing up in your life. So this is devotion. This is saying, if you want to make this work, whatever this is, career, business, if you're making a career change, if you're making a money change, if you're making a shift or something like that, Like, you have to be dedicated to it. It is the only way it will be successful. With this Taurus energy as a theme, Taurus, we know, is an earth sign. It means doing the work. It means you have to stay the course. It means you have to keep going, even when it feels like, well, am I really making progress? Well, try something new, try something different. That's the energy that is coming up there. And then we have this waxing gibbous. I didn't let me call you when I'm done. I didn't go nowhere. Sorry, y'all. I was just trying to respond to my baby. Like, I was like, oh, let me let her know I'm good. But clearly I was not able to multitask at the same time. So then we have this waxing gibbous energy, which is alignment, refinement, nurture, patience, evolution. Like, this is basically saying it is the process. It's pretty much, when it comes to whatever this is that you're doing, in the month of April, surrounding money, love, career, passion, it is saying, make sure it's something that you love. Make sure that you are practical with how you're going to do it. Make sure you use the resources you have, consolidate, save up, things like that. But be very consistent with it. That's really important. And know that it is patience that is key. You got to get through the whole time period before falling apart. That's why you need to have practical goals. Have practical goals. Have practical goals. And if you find it hard to be motivated by a practical goal, it's like, oh, I should be excited, but I can't really, it just doesn't push me. You need to ask yourself, why am I rushing to get somewhere? Because 9 times out of 10, you might be rushing to get somewhere because you feel like you can't get there. So you feel like, well, let me hurry up and try to get there as quick as I can. You may feel like an imposter syndrome. You may feel like you don't deserve something. These are all reasons why it might curb your ability to be patient. But when you have to just sit there and do it over and over and over again and get better, and that makes you better. That makes whatever it is you're doing better. When I first started sharing my gifts and creating these community spaces, it was very different than what it is now. Everything from the presentation to the way that I feel comfortable on the camera, everything was so different. But it took a long time. It took a couple of years of just consistently doing before I was able to kind of share my heart and share all of these, the energy that I'm passionate about with you. But it was a good thing. I've actually said this before. So anybody who's trying to grow like a social following or something like that, I've said this before about Reiki Healing Hope. I had Reiki Healing Hope for a year, and I had maybe consistently posting, let's say 2 or 3 times a week. And I had 100 subscribers that first year. And then the second year, I even took it up because you all know I post 5 times a week, and I started to post 5 times a week consistently, and I got to 4,000 subscribers. But that first year was tough. That first year was very tough. But you know what I did notice? That it was more about quality, not quantity. That time gave me an opportunity to become a better healer, to really continue to learn and continue to grow my skills, to learn how to run a business, to learn how to grow a social following, to learn how to do these things. Had I had been catapulted into the energy before then, it wouldn't be the same. Also, the reason why my communities are so loving is because it's had all of those years and people consistently coming back. It's the people who create the energy. If I didn't have that, some of my first videos had the randomest of comments on there. But when a new person comes to my video now, they will not leave random comments. They will acclimate to the energy there. So just because something, bringing it back to the point, just because something is taking a long time does not mean it is negative. It could be building and setting up the foundation for you to do whatever it is that you want to do. And believe me, it is worth it. When I say the amount of freedom that I have in my life, like when I say that I control everything that I want to do, and I feel very, positioned well because I had to wait and I had to be patient. When I first started doing all of these things, I had a full-time job. I think I was still in grad school too. So learning how to really hustle to get things done, to be patient, it makes it better. So then you're able to really enjoy it later on. So we had that lunar eclipse. As I gave my life story, we had this lunar eclipse, but we also have a solar eclipse. So this is giving for April. Like there's going to be a healing that comes with money, but then there's also going to be an illumination, a sense of determination, a sense of being reborn. Like I'm going to go after this. Whatever this is, for my career switchers, or for my people who are trying to start businesses, or like really bring their hobbies into the forefront, what I want to say to you is, just let go of the things that didn't work before, but then get super excited about the future. If, you could forget everything that happened in the past for the other things you try to do, and just with a full heart and just with a clean slate, you went towards whatever it is you're trying to work for. That is what is being illuminated in April. And then Uranus, innovation, discovery, individuality, and technology. And so Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. And I said this in the love, and I said this in the health energy. It has a very Aquarian feel to the month, even though, of course, we know that April is all about Aries. But like it has this sense of innovation, technology. And Uranus is very interesting. Uranus, especially with a hint of Aquarian energy, because when it comes to business, it's new. It's you doing something no one has ever done before. Like me explaining to people, I am in esoteric wellness. I, help people, in multiple ways, in very esoteric ways. That's not a job description, but it's something I love and I'm passionate about. So don't try to fit what you love into a box that already exists, because Uranus energy is sometimes you got to create the box. And it doesn't matter if it makes sense to other people. If it works, there will be people who will come into the space. There will be people who will, take you to the next level. Also, for those who are kind of suffering from any kind of imposter syndrome, feeling like, am I going to be good enough to do this? And this is strong for like career switchers or people going and trying to reskill into something else. And you may not feel qualified or something like that. You want a business and you feel like maybe you're not qualified for it. That doesn't matter. Uranus energy is saying, how do you figure out how to get somewhere when there is no roadmap to get there? And it is those who do that who pave the path for everyone else. Everything that we see now that we could categorize and put into a norm was somebody taking this Uranus path and going forward. Like the other day I was looking at, just kind of having watching this series by Neil deGrasse Tyson, where he was talking about the cosmos. And he was kind of going through like old Victorian historical figures, X, Y, and Z. But it's just so funny because all of these people who were like astronomers, they had like 6 other titles. They were like astronomers. They were monks. They were like avid divers. It was so random and all over the place. But, when you learn things when you're younger, it's consolidated. If it's an astrology or astronomy textbook, they were an astronomer. If it was a diving textbook, they were a diver. But that's not really how life is. Life is, people are filled with all kinds of different things. It can't necessarily be categorized into one thing. So don't feel like you're not qualified to learn something, because people learn random things all the time. All you got to do is, this is a cheat code here, baby. All you got to do if you want to learn something that you know nothing about is find the bare beginner stage, which there is always a beginner stage, the bare beginner stage, and just work it up piece by piece by piece by piece. Stay consistent and you can do it. Okay, so now I'm going to open up some space to answer any of your questions. So go ahead and put that in the chat section. For, April money, we're doing money right now, money, business, career, passions, things like passion projects. Go ahead and put that in the comment section or the chat, and I'm going to take some time to be able to answer that. Okay. I'm studying, those popped out, so those are for you. I'm studying music technology. Will I be successful in the industry? Before I even pull these cards, I'm going to tell you the truth. You will be successful if you are determined to be successful. And you have to define your own sense of success, but we will give you what the card said. The fourth house, a sense of belonging, and the moon. Now that's interesting because the moon rules the fourth house. The fourth house is everything that has to do with moon, everything that has to do with Cancer energy. So this is the house of origins. Here is where we see our home, bloodline, feelings of safety, comfort, mother figure, tradition, and lifestyle. It also shows where we come from. So this is saying build a strong foundation. Nurture this. If you want to be successful in, let me see, what was it? Music technology. If you want to be successful, you have to nurture it. You almost like you have to be the water. So you have to use the energy within you. If there's ever a moment where you're like, hey, like, oh, I feel inspired to go work on X, Y, and Z, go do it. That is the moon energy. That's saying whenever you have a feeling, you turn that into your creativity, whatever that creativity is. If you ignore that creativity, then it won't bloom in the way that it needs to bloom. But you have to nurture that for you to be successful. Great question. Next question. Let me see. Feel free to put those questions in. Let's see. I'm hoping to change my career and focus more in illustration/art. Will I get a job? Will I get the job offer in the career I want soon? Is there anything I need to know? So career switching. So you want to do career switching in illustration and art, and you want to know if you're going to get a job in it. What do you define as a job? Is like an independent project or like a full-time career? Will they get a job? I'm gonna tell you right now, you can make a job for yourself, sweetheart. But I feel like you're asking for a career, but I'm just gonna, okay, yep, determination. Look, it's saying that when it comes to this industry, it's saying that, like, yep, full-time, that's what I thought. When it's coming to this industry, it's saying it's all about hustle. So, first you need to, you hone in on your skills, which you're fine at, but it's also saying you got to hustle. You got to be determined. You have to really say, I want this. And the people with the strongest wills are the ones who really kind of win over. So that means getting a lot of rejections. That means hearing no more often than yes. But the moment that you do hear yes, like, you're in there. So if you can get yourself used to hearing no, then you are closer to getting to your actual goal. Stellium, reinforcement, concentration. It is saying you have to concentrate all of your energy. The things that you're good at, look, you got to go for it. And you cannot stop and see a no as, feel bad for myself, woe is me. Like, that's not the name of this game. If you want to be successful here, you gotta, you have to pace yourself. You have to understand that rejection will come, but you have to have this kind of this force of, I know this will happen. It's just a matter of time. And of course you get better and, things like that, but it's almost like you have to force yourself in there, but it is your determination that will get you there. So that's the energy that's coming up from that. And I will take one more question, friends. If there's any more questions for April 2022, love, money, business, passion, any more questions? Okay, Carolina, this one's for you. Chiron, wounded healer. I did an audition not so long ago. I feel like acting is for me. Is that right? Am I going to be successful? There's a lot surrounding this energy for you. Because it's almost like there's a sense of like holding yourself back. Like that's what keeps on showing up here. It's like the wounded healer is like there's passion there, there's dedication there, things like that, but it's almost like you will hold yourself back from doing something. So you have to get out of your own way to be able to be successful here. And it's similar to what we just talked about with Mars. These are the type of, especially creative endeavors, you hear a lot of no's, so you can't be very tied to that no as a representation of your worth. So just kind of get out of your own way in order to express yourself freely. And that's what you're going to work on first. You're going to work on getting out of your own way, and then, the creativity will flow. Well, everyone, I really enjoyed this. I hope you liked it. This was for money, this was for love, and this was also for, what do we do? Health. I do offer personal readings, and there's a link in the bio. Look at me. There's a link in the description box if you would like a personal reading. I only have 2 days left in April. So if that's something you're interested in, you would head over to there and sign up for that. Also, perks of the live. I will, get to questions. So for April, the live readings will be Mondays at 6 p.m. EST. But thank you. I really, really enjoyed this. Love bringing in this collective energy. And like I said, take what you need, leave what you don't. Trust in yourself. You co-create this life you want. And there's nothing that can stop you from getting what you want. You have got this. So I'm excited to jump back in next Monday. And if you are just missing me so much, head on over to Reiki Healing Hope. And I'm there like every night. So, you can hang out there and fall asleep to that. But until next time, y'all, I'll see you then. I'll see you then. I'll see you then. Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you. Aw, thank you, Lydia. I appreciate that, love. That is so sweet of you. Thank you. Bye, everyone. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Bye, everybody. Let me get to what I need to do. Bye, y'all. See you later.